Welcome to the Illuminate Your Essence podcast, where we cut through the distractions, programs, and stories that have created chaos in your life and discover the truth, bliss, and joy that exists beyond the external clutter and resides within. Welcome back, my friends. Today is a monumental day for me. This is the podcast that is going to just launch my book out into the universe. My book that I've been kind of, hinting at along the last 6 months, which is Truth and Dare, Daring to Live Your Truth in a Fake World. And I am so honored and humbled with the guest that I'm going to be introducing you to in just a moment. But I want to tell you how I met her. This book, Truth and Dare, has been with me. I've known the title for about 4 years, but I never knew how to actually get started. I kept thinking to myself, someday, sometime, one of these days when my life isn't so busy, or it comes to me, or like something hits me over the head. Well, last February, I was in a place where I had really achieved everything on my vision board that I could in terms of material things. I was looking around my house, seeing my incredible home that I had just moved into, looking at my cars, my clothes, all the things. And I recognized that I was so deeply unfulfilled. To my core, I was unfulfilled. And I was meeting with my coach in a group. We were discussing things. And as I walked through the door, she had this deck called the Awaken deck right here. Have it on my desk. And I picked a card. And the card said, in a nutshell, that I breathe in and receive all of my spiritual gifts, and I breathe out the fear of using my spiritual gifts. And I started to recognize the reason why I was feeling so deeply unfulfilled was because I wasn't using my gift of communication. I wasn't using the things that really light my fire. And so that led me to a coach. My coach that night, Angel Lynn, said, "Hey, I really think you should talk to this person. Her name's Keira Poulsen, and she is a publisher, but she's more than a publisher. She's a lot more than a publisher. I think you need to talk to her." And I read some books in the meantime before I spoke to Keira. And I just knew in my heart, there was no doubt I was going to be working with her. So when we met on Zoom that first time, I said, "You know what? This is going to be the easiest call you've ever had, because if you will accept me and publish my book, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. I already know this already." And this beautiful beaming face across the Zoom call. She was so there. She was so present with me. She was listening to me. She was channeling a little bit of my book. And I saw that this was going to be a different experience. And it was. This is not a traditional writing experience. And so Keira Poulsen is my guest today. She is the CEO of Freedom House Publishing. She is a book channeler, and we're going to learn what that means. And you are going to feel her heart, her love. Her love is in terms of a heart-centered leader, and you're going to be blown away. So Keira, thank you from the bottom of my heart that you are here, that you're with me, and that you get to grace us on this show today.
Thank you, Wendy. Oh my gosh, I love the story. I love hearing it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Keira, what is a book channeler?
Right? Like, what is that? I don't even know if that's like a thing, except that it just became who I was. And then I was like, oh, I think I'm a book medium. So like mediums in the world can channel spirits and they can give messages from spirits. I experience books like that. They come in and they show me pieces of someone's book. They tell me what's the thing that's going to make the difference. How are we going to help this book come through easier? These books have like a spirit or an essence to them. And so I get to be the medium that helps the author hear the book so that they don't deal with writer's block, so they don't get stuck in their head. And so that the message that's supposed to be written by them actually comes through.
That's what I think most individuals feel. Many people feel like they have a book. They have no idea where to get started. And so your ability to help foster that channeling for them. Do you feel like that just makes all the difference in your
Oh,
perspective and working with these authors and people choosing in? What is the key to getting it going?
well, so let me get clear on the types of books I channel. So I don't channel like I don't channel fiction, I don't channel horror. I mean, I guess there's like some line with fiction when someone's writing a fiction story that's more of a parable, that's teaching
Mm-hmm.
powerful principles.
Mm-hmm.
So the basis has to be, this book is going to change someone's life.
Okay.
So it could be a fiction if it's in that kind of vein. So these books aren't just we're not writing these books to hit bestseller, which awesome, that'd be cool if it did, but like that's not why we're writing books, to change people's lives.
Right.
So that is the basis. So if somebody's a hell yes for that, a holy hell yes, like I want to write a book that's going to change someone's life, then they're already a candidate, like done. You've got a book inside of you. Now, what we get to do is we get to drop into our heart space and we get to listen. And my belief is that if someone can play in this like portal with me, they get tapped in to the energy of their book. And then it's like getting on a river, like you just get to flow. And every time people hit writer's block, it's just because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make it perfect. They're worried about what other people are thinking. And all those things pull somebody out of the vein of service.
Right.
And when we get out of the vein of service, we hit writer's block. And this is why people write for 10 years, because they keep getting stuck. And like, is anybody going to like this? Is this good enough? Am I good enough? What will people think? Is this going to, it's like, that's the whole mess that keeps people stuck. And then sadly keeps books hidden in people's bodies.
You know, Keira, I'm just laughing to myself because we had a discussion right before this. I am recording the audio portion for the Audible version of my book. It's got to be done today. And I'm stuck on a chapter and I'm worried about what it just isn't as good in my mind and my belief system and my perception, that it's just not as good as the rest of the chapters. And I keep wanting to go in there because honestly, what does it come down to? I'm worried about what other people will think. I'm worried about the perception. I'm worried about acceptance. I'm judging my chapter. And the interesting thing is, it's the chapter of truth about surrender. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
I love it.
And
I love
I
it.
mean, it just kind of cracks me up because that's really what's, and if I choose to halt the press and stop the formatter and stop everybody because of this one chapter, it's not going to be able to be out on 11/11, which is has always been the date since day one. I never had a doubt it was going to be 11/11/22. And so you're exactly right. We prevent something from being actually born into the world because of our own inadequacies, our own insecurities, and the judgment we have behind them. And, that's what halts that creation process, right? So you are there teaching and guiding and helping individuals to get through that, right?
Yeah, 100%. And, I'm going to create there's something I have to create for our authors that preps them for the week before their book goes live. Because 90% of our authors come back and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, no, I have to redo this and I have to redo it. I'm like, no, this is the thing that's stopping the birth. Like, we're not doing it. We're not changing your cover last minute. We're not changing, that we're getting it through. But I think there's 2%, literally, maybe 10, maybe we'll be generous, 10% this doesn't happen to, but this is just part. It's like the fear right before it bursts, like, wait, do I really want to publish this? Never mind. If I just keep fixing it, it never gets there. And that's actually what happens to most authors in the world. When you talk to most authors or people who have books that they've been writing, it's because they just keep going in and fixing it and fixing it and fixing it. And the saddest thing is that book is meant to change someone's life. And the more you fix it, the more that person whose life is supposed to be changed never gets changed.
And it's so true. And I am in this moment in our discussion going, Wendy, let it go. Let it go. Let it be. It was channeled in the manner it was supposed to be channeled. Just let it go and trust. A lot of my message is that surrender, you know, let and allow and have faith that the process was exactly what it was supposed to be. And maybe that chapter has something for one person or two people or 10 people or 100,000 people that end up being words that resonate with their hearts. And if I change it, they won't have that experience. So why am I trying to change it?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Don't change it. We're done. It's done.
We're done.
The book is done.
It's
We're
done.
going to get this baby out to the world. It's going to change so many people's lives. You are such a firecracker of just shifts and change, and you move so quickly. And that is a place I love to play, because the more we move our creations through us, the more momentum we get. And then the more people change. Like, I look at that deck and like hearing, I don't even sell that deck, the deck that Angel,
people
right?
keep
like,
asking me, actually, they're like, where do I get this deck?
I
Where do I get this deck? Because
I need to
put
just
it in my Facebook page.
Yeah. I need to just like, I have probably 500 packs. It's a lot of work to like package, and I need to find a better system. Right. But anyways, I look at that and it's like 3 years ago, I wrote that program. So 3 years ago, I wrote all of those healing phrases and all of everything that's on that deck. Mm-hmm. And I remember like being like, oh my gosh, God gave this to me. This is going to be the course that's going to change my business. This is at the beginning of my business. And like, I think 4 people bought that program. And I remember being like, why did God give me this program? Like, why does this feel like a failure? And then it's like, last year I was shown, put it on a deck and give it to all the people that you work with. And then to see how that deck actually changed your life, that brought you in to write your book. It's the timeline that we get hooked up on with God.
Yeah.
But like with God, there's no timeline. So God knew I had time to write that course 3 years ago. Heaven knows I don't have time to write that course today. Right.
Right.
And so it's just really releases our expectations of what happens right now and trusting the process. That course was written 3 years ago because God knew that deck was going to show up to bring you into my work so that we could publish this powerful book. And this book is going to change thousands and thousands of lives. So like, I just really want to presence that everyone listening, you may feel like God gave you something and then you didn't get the result you wanted. Just take a beat, because there's a timeline that we don't see, and everything is in perfect order.
Yeah. And the way that you help authors channel their books, I believe it changes them on an absolute, for me, cellular level, because here I am learning to align with source energy, divine source directly, which how could that not change you? Right. And so now I'm channeling these words through me. And a lot of it is all the questions, the concerns, the challenges, the suffering that I have experienced. And I am getting answers to my very own questions. Yeah. Like, so if no one else gets anything out of this girl has changed everything about it. It was worth it just for that experience. Now, if it helps another individual, that would just light my heart on fire. But it doesn't need to, because it did what it was supposed to, which was change me, help me with a new perspective. It helped me with a new understanding and a way of being. And so thank you for teaching me that, Keira, because I am a different person. I am living a different existence because of this book. I am not even the same person. I am not in the same career anymore. All of these things. Do you see all the changes? Do you realize in 6 months what has happened, Keira?
Name it. Let's hear it.
All right. Left my career of 10 years. Okay. I mean, I still have some things going on. It's not like I'm completely, so I have shifted 100% into helping others navigate their life and finding the blocks that keep them from connecting to themselves, others, and the divine. That's my whole focus now, is doing that, whether that's through podcasts or putting events on. Okay. So this is the next thing. Then I didn't know that I am a video producer. Apparently that's what I do. Yeah. So now I put one of my stories became a video, which launched a movement, Time to Heal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, what else has happened? Oh, and now I'm putting on a new huge event called Burning Woman. That was because of this, right?
Yes.
I would have never had that opportunity had I not done this book, because that person needed to be guided into my life in order to even have this be a part of and also to end my career. Because in declaring that I was no longer doing that to the universe, it opened up a space to bring in something fresh and new, which is Burning Woman. So I have Burning Woman. I have a couple of retreats. I have this podcast that was born out of it. Now, had you told me all of these things back in April, hey, by the way, Wendy, when you choose into this book, this is all the things you're going to do, I would have been, holy hell no. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just stay right here where I'm at in my safe little bubble, my safe little unfulfilled bubble. I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I don't tell people. I'm like, come here, let's write your book. Oh, P.S. Your whole life is going to get so much bigger, because it's exactly what you said. When we learn to channel our books, we channel everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just creating a new pattern in our body, the pattern of going into the source, the divine source above us, below us, within us, and asking to be guided. And when we can do that with a book, it's like the training wheels. The book is the training wheels on how to live life like this. And then once you play there, you're like, why would I do anything other than this? This model is fast, which I love fast. I know you love fast. I love fast. Let's go the fastest route, right? Working with the divine, fastest route. So then it's like best results show up. Mm-hmm. It just changes how life is. So you learning how to channel the book just opened you up to channel all the other things. And this is how life goes from now on. Mm-hmm. And P.S., like, it's like a Pez container. Like you've got another book that's going to pop up soon, right? Like,
all right. You know what? That actually is so funny that you would say that, because I want people to see you in your zone of genius. Go ahead and channel it. I'm not even finished freaking giving birth to this baby, but all right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're ready?
Are you willing and able to do this?
Always. Okay. Yeah, for sure. All right. For sure.
Okay. Channel the book. I'm ready.
Come on. Let's see this.
Let's see what's next. Let's see what creative thing is next.
Okay. So let's just we're just going to bring in your current book. We just want to, it like needs a moment with us. So we're just going to bring in this beautiful book that is about to be published on 11/11. We're going to call it an In Through the Divine Light to come sit between my heart and your heart. And we're just going to take a beat with it. Okay. So here's what it's saying though. It's saying, let me be as I am. Like whatever you can get through with the editor today, send to the formatter, and then you need to bless it. So I'm going to make a video. Actually, it's on my list today. So this is perfect. I'm going to make a YouTube video on how to bless your book. I'll send that to you. Blessing the book is going to be really, really like a completion. Like, it's really weird when people graduate college and never walk across the stage. Like their body never gets that it completed, right? Yeah. So blessing the book it needs to have a completion with you. So that needs to happen. And then it's saying like, it wants some time with you. So a way to do that would be to make a commitment, like 2 days a week, you're going to ask the book, what do you want me to share about you? And then whatever you hear, you're going to post that. Okay. So the book it really doesn't want to leave your existence. It wants to partner with you still. And the way to do that is to ask, like, how do you promote it and let the book be a part of that next piece? Okay. That feels great. Really, yeah. Okay. So we're just going to thank your book for just all that it's brought in, acknowledging this experience, acknowledging the divine. And then we're just going to wrap it in like a momentum river, so that it can really just stay in the fast track. Like it just really wants to stay on. It's showing me a highway the carpool lane. It wants to stay in the carpool lane. Okay. But it's telling me that it can't be in the carpool lane without you. So it takes two to be in that carpool lane, right? Right.
Yeah.
So it's saying if you continue to partner with it, it will keep you in momentum. So that's a really important message. Okay.
I like that because, you know, part of me is like, oh, I'm going to be done and I can just focus on other things. Right.
Yeah.
And the book is saying no. And as I have been speaking and reading my book, it's brought me so much joy. I can't even tell you, other than the chapter of surrender.
Which is here to teach you to surrender.
Isn't that so ironic? Not really, but anyways, I just think that it's still teaching me. It's still teaching me, Wendy, surrender. That is where the magic is. Surrender and allow it to be what it is. So I will do that. I get to practice surrender and I get to spend some days with it, at least saying, hey, what do you want me to tell the world about you? So
that feels very loud. So the second book's coming in right now. And so those who are listening, how I channel books is I'm very visual. So I'm usually shown something visually and it's symbolic. And then we kind of like have to figure out what does this symbolism mean? And because everybody I work with, especially you, have extremely gifts, like extraordinary spiritual gifts. And I say that because every human does.
Yeah.
Every human does,
absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
Every human does, just some people can feel them and some people have never been taught the language. Luckily, like you can feel them. So we're going to invite your gifts to really be present with us. So your book took me to the red dirt, the red dirt. And it's something about like Mother Earth has a story, a message for you to bring up. And it's showing me like, this is the this is where you get to share like deep pockets of wisdom, a wisdom that you've just started to know. So wisdom that it's like you're just starting to learn it. And so writing this book is going to deepen and quicken whatever the experience is. So I don't actually know what this is, but can you feel it? Do you know?
You know, as you say, Mother Earth, and you talk about, it's really this connection. I'm starting to see a different world. Okay. And of course, in Miracles talks about this a lot. It talks about the way that we forgive and allow all of us to be guiltless and to forgive the world for what we've created, because really what we've created in this life right now is what we have co-created this experience, right? So 100% responsibility, understanding that judgment keeps us trapped in that pain and that suffering and that chaos state. And I'm just learning to start to create this new world, this new way of being, this new perspective, this new way of showing up, and understanding that we are so interconnected, way more than I think that any of us understand, that we have this sovereign individual experience, but we're really energetically connected. And that translates to not just humans. It translates to Earth, translates to the life on Earth, whether that's mammals or insects or birds, whatever it is, we are connected to all things. And so perhaps maybe that's just that next learning, right? And that next growth and that next exploration for me to kind of unpack. And as I'm writing, it will start to make sense to me too, which I really believe the teacher is taught, right? Anytime a teacher is up there, we're probably learning more than the student, because we have to internalize and become that lesson, right? So I love that. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I can see this path. And it's interesting. Several times I am walking people through my hikes in the Red Rock in the book that is going to be published. I write through stories and so each one of the chapters starts with a story. Some of them are very, very, very sacred to me. and I am sharing these things for the first time with the world. And I'm expecting that it will be met with honor and respect, and we can understand the emotion, right?
Yeah.
Even though they haven't had my same journey and my same story, we share the same emotions. So if I am feeling sad, or I'm feeling defeated, or I'm feeling joyful, every person has experienced those emotions. So through stories, I think it helps us to remember that we are connected, that even though they're having their experience, I'm having my experience, we still share that same energy that we experience through that. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And it feels like, so here's what the book is showing me. The book is showing me there's something about you getting on the red dirt, barefoot, hands in the dirt, and you're going to ask the earth to actually teach you. So there's something also about a waterfall, like you being next to a waterfall and allowing the water to cleanse you. So there's something about, if you can get underneath a waterfall, I know we're heading into winter, but there's something about water on the crown of your head and letting it quiet your mind, because this book is going to be 100% quiet mind, deep soul rooted wisdom that's good. You're going to be taught from the earth, from the divine mother. And when you allow your mind to be cleaned by that water, so maybe it's just symbolic that you use water, or maybe you can go to hot springs that has water. There's something about it hitting the crown of your head, and in that moment releasing the need for your mind to understand. Because what I'm hearing is that this book is all medicine.
Mm.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. All medicine.
It's all medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel it. I can see it. I'm going, God, there's so many beautiful waterfalls, but you're right. Most of it's cold right now, but I also am understanding and valuing the beauty in cold water. I really don't love cold water. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm the person who's in the shower and it's scalding hot, right?
Too. Yeah.
Like, and you know, if my partner joins me, if my husband joins me, he's like, "What the heck? Are you trying to kill me?" You know, so I'm the person who likes the scalding hot water, but I also understand the beauty of the cold. Which can be applied everywhere, right? We embrace our light side of us, but we don't really want to look at the shadow side. So I can see this dichotomy in everything. So cold water perhaps would be a beautiful thing. And there's a lot of waterfalls down here in southern Utah where we've got the red rocks. Like Kunar Falls is so amazing. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And interesting. All right.
Well, and you know what's interesting about cold water? I'm the same, right? Like if my skin's not red, the shower wasn't good, right? Like it's just how it goes. But when I drop in, I do cold water therapy regularly. And when I drop in, it's actually a portal where my guides come, and they come in so clear. And that when I say guides, like my angels and those who are spiritually here to help me. So there's something about the cold water that drops us straight out of our humanity and wakes us up into our spiritual self. So I think go do it before it gets way too cold. So maybe, go do that right now, because it's probably not super cold yet in southern Utah. But yeah, this book, I can feel it. It's also not coming in like a freight train. It's coming in like an under the ground, like a rebel, like these like waves like this, which means just start to spend time with it. And it's just going to deepen all of your results. They're going to get so much better.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so you that out there that are listening, that's really how Keira works her magic. It's not necessarily a template of this is how you write a book. And in fact, I remember you telling me at the beginning of my book process that, Wendy, you probably won't go in sequential order. You will have a thought, you will have a story, and you will need to just create organization from the chaos after you have created. And you look at that in nature. Nature is chaotic, but there's also order in nature, right? And so that's how creation is birthed. It's a little messy to begin with. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think that's why a lot of people don't follow through, because it just doesn't make sense. Well, wait a second, I got to start with chapter 1. And if I don't have chapter 1, I can't get chapter 2. And I remember you saying that it doesn't necessarily happen that way. And there isn't this structure and order. Now we will get it there, and we will organize it and make this unorganized matter come together and create this beautiful creation, but it doesn't start that way, right?
No, I use that analogy all the time. When God, in the scriptures, it says God took unorganized matter and created the earth. It wasn't like he took organized matter. It was unorganized. So the truth is that no divine creation ever comes through line. In all the books I've written, not one has come through chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. They come through in a hot mess. They come through in spouts of like water pouring through my body, and I'm typing it out. And I look at it like a puzzle. If you were to have 1,000-piece puzzle, but you only had one piece at a time, how could you ever build it? Like that doesn't make any sense, right? But if you have all the pieces out, then you're able to see how they go together. When we channel the book through and it comes through as a hot mess, now we have all the pieces. It's so much easier when you have all the pieces in front of you to see the whole and to understand, this piece is where people need to start. That's chapter 1. This piece is going to take them to the next step. When we try and channel it through in chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, we're putting parameters and borders around God's creations.
Right. And we're creating here, right? We're creating in the head space instead of the heart space, right?
Yes. And when you walk into the forest, you don't see a pile, like a whole row of red roses. You don't see a whole row of then white roses. You see red and white and yellow. God's creation is all that. It's not orderly, perfect. It comes through in brilliant different ways and different colors. And that's how all of our creations come through. Our books, but our businesses, our podcasts, everything we create, if we allow it to come through like that, the blocks are taken off.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I loved and have and still love about working with you, Keira, and especially with the group that you've curated, is that most of the time that was what is preventing us from creating is not necessarily that we need to learn grammatical, like we need to learn how to write better, that you need to teach us how to structure a sentence or structure a paragraph or structure a story. It's more that we are literally blocking ourselves from receiving because of those old programs, beliefs, and ideas that we've formed, and we're not able to hear it because they keep coming up. They keep coming up and saying we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, that we perhaps don't have what it takes to be a writer. And what do we have to say that's going to impact anybody out there? And so it seems like that's really where we spend a lot of our time, is overcoming those obstacles. Is that just with our group, or do you find that that's just the human experience and creation?
This is just like, if people were like, how do you help people write books so quickly? Well, I'll tell you, because we go in and clear out all the shit. That's it. Right. So like, I was working with an author the other day, and her lower back was just on fire. And she's like, I can't even sit to write. And we have this deadline for a book to be finished. And I'm like, well, like, let's heal the pain. I'm not going to sit here and try and channel your book with you. The pain is so distracting. You can't bring your book through. Right. So we go in, and of course, if anyone knows about chakras, the root chakra is feeling unsupported, worried that you're going to be kicked out of your tribe. And these were all her fears about her book. Her book's almost done. And she's just so worried that her family is going to just, reject her, and all the things that would show up in the root chakra. So we cleared that out. And as soon as we cleared that out, guess what? Chapters flowed through for her. Her pain left. So it's not that I'm like a genius at helping people become good writers. I'm a genius at helping people clear out the shit so that they can be the vessel for the work that needs to come through. That's why we do that in our mastermind. Our mastermind is barely about writing. Our mastermind is how do we clear everything out of the way so we can show up and be a vessel. If we're a vessel, everything is easier.
Yeah.
But we have to get ourselves out of the way first, clear up the old pains, the old traumas, the old belief systems that want to keep us small. And that's why books come through so much faster.
I love this. And yeah, a lot of people ask me, how in the world did you write a book in like 3.5, 4 months?
Yeah.
And it's because you taught me the art of channeling. And that is going to be something that I will take forever in my heart in the future. This is how I live my life now. And I was doing it somewhat before. I was, but it's remembering and awakening that piece and part of me that I have not been in touch with on the level that I am now. So with that being said, Keira, thank you so much. Thank you for teaching me this. Thank you. Thank you for helping me to create this book that has changed my life and will change others' lives. Thank you for creating a publishing house that is centered around serving and loving and not just making massive wealth. That can come along with it too, and I'm fine with that. But it is more about service. And I just want you to know what a beautiful, beautiful human you are. And I'm so grateful that I got to be on this ride with you and experience a little Keira magic. Because once you have Keira in your life, you're never going to be the same again. Right? I know you've heard that before. I know you have. And it's true.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Wendy. Thank you. It has been such an honor to work with you. You are such a force for good in this world. You have such a force. You have the magic of being able to know what needs to be done, feel it, and then do it. And not everyone has those two pieces, to hear and then take action. And you have that. And that's why you are going to go change thousands and millions of lives, because you bring both of those pieces together, the feminine and the masculine together. You've got that inside of you. And it's like such a joy to work with you and to watch you go and change people's lives. So I'm just so deeply honored.
Well, thank you. And before we close things up and wrap things up, Keira, I know that there are going to be individuals that want to reach out to you. So how do they get in touch with Keira Poulsen?
Fastest way is just DM me. I am not an email girl. I don't like them. I have my assistant look through them. Just don't email me. Go on to Keira Poulsen on Instagram, send me a DM. Fastest way, if anybody's listening, I do a morning show every single morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, where I channel books with people. And it's just a service. Like, you don't have to pay. You get on, we channel your book. It's going to activate momentum. One time I channeled with someone and she never joined my program. She wrote her book in 12 days after one channeling session, right? Like these sessions have the ability to actually activate anybody who's on there, activate their book. So get on, let's channel your books. Let's do that. If someone wants to join my mastermind, I think I have 5 spots left. The mastermind you're in is closed, so no one can get into that one. I have a second one open. I have 5 spots left in that one. And I do have a lava flow program, which is a new program where I work with someone for 8 weeks every single day.
Wow.
Every single day for 20 minutes. And it's insane. If you imagine the lava we felt, imagine every morning. So we work every morning, 7 days a week for 8 weeks, which sounds intense, but books are done. Like, oh my gosh, like a book has already been finished. She's launched a mastermind. She's probably going to hit over $100,000. Like, it's 8 weeks every single morning in the lava. It's freaking insane, but I only take one at a time. So, these, just DM me. I got lots of ways. I actually have a new book. Hold on. It's holding up my,
yes.
This book came out last week. It's called God is My Business Plan. This book will guide anybody through anything. I have a YouTube video that goes live every morning and every night. Free content, guys. Go take it. It's a morning practice and an evening practice that teaches you how to channel, and it's free. So it's on YouTube. that's probably the best place for people to start if they're a little bit intimidated to jump in.
Oh, I love it. And you guys, that book is so good. I actually have used it many times in this process, and I only got a hold of this copy, in the middle of September. And so it is changing lives, Keira. You are changing lives.
Mm.
And so again, I'm going to tell you, thank you one more time. Thank you very much. And thank you for being on the show.
Such a joy. Love you, Wendy.
I love you too. And with that being said, make sure on 11/11, this podcast is going to go out on 11/9. And so right now, if you follow me on social media, you actually can purchase the book today. So on 11/11, though, it goes live and we're doing a few discounts as of today. So go on there. You can get whatever format you like. If you are a Kindle person, get it on your Kindle digital platform. If you are an Audible audio learner, that is probably my favorite one, just because that's how I learn. And then of course your standard hard copy book. And I really believe that this will have a positive impact on your life. I can say that with full honesty because it has for me. And so if it has the ability to change me and the way that I show up and the amount of joy and love and peace and connection that I have with myself, others, and the divine, I know it can have the same impact on you. So I encourage you to go take a look at it. It's called Truth and Dare, Daring to Live Your Truth in a Fake World. Go check it out. It's on Amazon, or check me out on my social media platforms so you can follow and see what is happening. With that being said, can't wait for the discussion, the deep dive, and the dialogue on another episode of Illuminate Your Essence. Thanks so much. Thank you for listening. I invite you to continue the dialogue, the discovery, and the deep dive on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also on my website. Feel free to download your free copy of the 5 steps to discovering your inner voice and begin your journey of discovering the truth within today.